We're going to try something new here. I am recording video as I record Powerbacks so that we can use video with my face instead of just my voice. Worth a shot. So the video is going to be super imperfect, probably a lot of bloopers, maybe even some shit that we can use. So here we go. Earlier this week on the Gutsy podcast, we talked with Jessica Yarbrough about expanding your business financially without having to expand all of the shit that you're already doing. And a lot of that comes back to simplifying the services that you're offering, simplifying how many tools that you're using. Look, over the years, you have accumulated a lot of stuff, and a lot of it probably works really well. But I would also imagine that a lot of it is just still there because you haven't had time or made time to go through your business to see what stays and what goes. On today's Powerback episode, we are going to talk about undoing your pricing, because I would imagine that if you're listening to this episode, you're probably not happy with what you're charging or where you are financially. Or perhaps you're ready to go to the next level and you're wondering, okay, what can I do to do that without adding a whole bunch of shit to my plate? Before we get into that, though, let's talk about getting into alignment, because alignment is a huge portion of your success, your peace, your happiness, and your expansiveness. Meaning the shit that you really want to accomplish in this life is on the other side of you saying yes to yourself. The thing that drives me the most batshit crazy in this world is watching women live a watered down version of their life, spending a bunch of time and effort making everyone else happy and ignoring your own needs. Finding reasons why you believe that your success is not even possible before you even get started. Living in a routine of just getting through the day. In case you're new to the podcast, my name is LauraAura, and I'm an alignment coach for energetically driven female entrepreneurs, and honestly, people that have unfulfilled passions in this world. And one of the quickest and easiest, most efficient ways for us to discover where you are today and really discover where you want to be is to book an alignment session. These are 90-minute you and me sessions, time for you to invest in yourself, to remember why are you here and what is it that's truly calling you, and then walk away with grounded, practical action, like actually knowing what your next step to take is. So if you're feeling a little flustered or overwhelmed by what to do next or where you want to be in this world, then go to LauraAura.com and book your alignment session with me today. So back to pricing. Pricing is a big deal in business, isn't it? And you want to know what I hear and see more often than not? Women undervaluing and undercharging all the damn time. So why is this happening in the first place? Well, there's three key things that I see on a regular basis. First and foremost is imposter syndrome. You know deep down that you're good at what you do. You're excited about it. This is what you want to invest your time in, and this is the impact that you want to have on the world. And then that little funky monkey voice pops in your head and is like, who the hell do you think you are? There are people that have way more experience than you do. No one's going to know who little old me is. And who am I to even think that I could do this? Oh, the brain. The brain serves a really valuable place in this world, but it also wants to keep you safe and tell you things that you have picked up along the way. Because these aren't your thoughts. These are thoughts that you've absorbed from other people, circumstances, or situations. Shit that you've read online, or things you've just convinced yourself of because you see other people killing it. When you can recognize when you start having these silent conversations with yourself, talking yourself out of it before you even get started, that gives you the power to shift back into alignment, because no one can do what you do in the way that you do it. You don't have to read one more book or take one more class. You don't need one more certification or one more conference to be qualified to do what you do today. All that is truly left is to do it. The second thought that is stopping you is saying no one is going to pay those prices. Money is such a weird ass thing because what is expensive to one person is inexpensive to another. And in the same respect, something that is inexpensive to one person is expensive to another. Your job is not to be the right price for every single human. Your job is to be in alignment with yourself, your pricing structure, and the clients that you wish to serve. Look, I have said this no less than 50 times on this podcast, and I'll say it again. There is someone currently in this moment spending $10,000 on a handbag on Fifth Avenue in New York City, and they're walking out thinking, what a steal. There is also somebody walking out of Target with their $29.99 handbag, feeling completely on top of the fucking world. I share this again because pricing is irrelevant to the impact that you can make. What is impactful is owning your shit, seeing the value in what you provide, and then sticking to it. The voice that's telling you that nobody is going to pay you is simply that. It's a thought, it's a fear, and it's a worry. But what if you leaned into the idea that people would be more than happy to pay you? That someone is sitting around right now in this moment saying, I wish I had someone to help me with blank, insert whatever it is that you do. What if you started to lean into that possibility? How could those financial decisions change your life? Give you the time and capacity to make a bigger impact the way that you know that you want to. And not be counting pennies when you know that you have shit that you can be doing. Here's the honest truth. No one is going to come and rescue you from what you are or are not charging. This is something that you have to embody, that you have to believe. And I know it's going to feel scary and you're going to be like, oh, I'm raising my prices right now, or I'm putting this new program out there and I don't know if anyone's going to pay it. Is that a risk that you're willing to take to get to where you know you want to be and make the impact that you know that you can have? My friend, if you believe that no one is going to pay you those prices, then guess what? They're not gonna. And lastly, discounting your services at the slightest feeling that someone has hesitation of working with you. Want to know what that's called? Scarcity. This is the feeling that, oh no, they may not want to work with me. And so to keep them here, I must then discount myself and my services, bend the way that I work to accommodate them. Now, can you have some flexibility in your programming? Absolutely. You could offer payment plans if that aligns with you. You could shift a portion of your program if that makes sense. But ripping apart everything that you do to accommodate everyone, lowering your prices or discounting everything is doing yourself and your business a disservice. The real shift in this is getting okay with not being for everyone. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow, and you want to help everyone because you are such a kind soul and you're so good at what you do. But accommodating everyone is diluting you. It's taking you out of your own personal alignment and creating this puppet. It's taking you out of alignment and putting everything that you have built in the hands of someone else. It takes gutsy to say no. It takes courage to turn someone down. It takes a whole lot of kahunas to say, you know what, you're trying to give me money, but this isn't aligned. And I'm not willing to bend what I offer because I believe in the transformation and what I can provide you. So, no, I'm not going to accept your money. And I say that these things are challenging until you do it. And then you realize how much power you have kept in your hands, how much stronger you feel, how much easier it gets each time when you get to recognize beautiful, aligned, amazing clients that are like, yep, I see what you're offering. I see what you're charging. I know who you are. Where do I fucking sign? Because when your plate is full of people nickel and diming you every single day, there is little to no capacity for core aligned clients that are more than happy to pay you because they know your worth. So here's what I recommend. Couple of steps for you. First and foremost, look at where you are today. Look at your pricing. Like actually look at your numbers. What are you charging for your services and are you happy with that? If you are, fantastic. And if you're not, allow yourself to shift your pricing to what better aligns with where you are now and where you are going. What are your goals? That's a whole nother piece to this puzzle. Look, if your goal is to, let's just pull some numbers, is to make 100 grand this year, and you are selling a $100 product, how many $100 products do you have to sell to achieve that goal? Now, if your business model is to do volume and that feels in alignment, then keep it. But if you're like, volume is not really my thing, I want to work with less people on a deeper level, then that $100 product is probably not going to get you to where you want to be anytime soon. Not to mention, you're not going to feel fulfilled along the way. You can very quickly shift into your goal of working with more people on a deeper level by offering a $10,000 package and selling 10 of them this year. Or you can shift to a $1,000 product and sell 100 of them this year. That model is a whole lot different than selling 1,000 $100 products. So know your goals and look at your pricing and say, okay, what is realistic here? Because I'll tell you, nothing will get your ass moving faster than looking at things black and white and realizing that you're going to have to do a whole bunch of shit that you don't want to do to get there. Your pricing structure gets to be your own, regardless of what anyone else online is doing, regardless of what has worked or hasn't worked for other people, and regardless of what other people's goals are. Those are all for them. You get to decide what's for you. If you're looking at your numbers and you're like, you know what, I legitimately just need a second eye. Again, I would encourage you to go to LauraAura.com and book an alignment session, 90 minutes together. Your face will be blown off how much movement we can make in a very short period of time. One of my superpowers is being able to see things through a new lens from a new perspective and be able to spot what's going on and where you're energetically pulling back, and pretty quickly. How do I know what one of these superpowers are? Because human design, have you heard of it? I would imagine that you've heard of the human design by now at this point. It's kind of a whole ass thing now, and it's literally one of the most valuable tools that I've ever used and continue to use in my business. So next week, episode 133 of the Gutsy podcast, we are talking with Brandy Yates, who is a human design specialist. If you're looking at it and you're like, okay, I hear it, I see it, but I don't fucking understand it. Next week's episode is packed full of knowledge and wisdom and ways for you to understand what your particular type is like and how to use that in business. I read every single one of your reviews. So if you would be so kind to go to Apple Podcasts and tell other listeners what it is that you take away from the Gutsy podcast, and get social with me. I play the most on TikTok and Instagram. You can find me at that LauraAura. And as always, until I see you next time, stay gutsy.